Yo, what up my little gangsters, it's your boy Logan Paul here, back at it again with another fight versus Mayweather. Totally not gonna lose this one. Nah, in all serious though, what's up guys? Last video I said that I would be making a video reading mal reviews, so here we are. This website is a mistake from humankind, realistically. I actually hate being here. I try and stay away from this website actively. So I figured we would look at a few different shows and see exactly how people of the internet seem to be viewing them and why they're wrong. What's a popular show that's been popping lately? Attack on Titan. So I can't spell apparently. So I think we should just take a look at the final season of Attack on Titan, considering it's one of those shows that was probably going to be the most popular of the year and is also, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a decent show. But I think it's going to be also very divided. I think that there's going to be some people who think that this is the greatest show of all time, and some people who think that this show is the most overhyped, awful mistake on humankind, which ironically is exactly how I feel about this website. Wow, we're already right into it. Wait, what? This guy starts off the review by saying, what an utter disappointment. Overall rating 9. Overall rating, what? Huh? You know, maybe I need to read the whole thing. This is hands down the worst Attack on Titan has ever been. Pretentious, hollow, and such a step down in animation that it's not even like I'm watching the same show anymore. Listen, I think the animation was a step down, if I'm being honest. I think that it was a slight downgrade and the CGI did not help. Though to say that it makes the show bad is a bit of a stretch. I think that it is much less stylistic than it used to be. But what I don't understand is this whole thing seems to be making the show out to look like it is a mistake, and it is the worst it's been. Oh, and then he says, or I would say if I was a fool. He did get me, boys. He did get me. Okay, so this one gave it a 4. I think that is extremely hot take. And keep in mind, this isn't even on the show in its entirety. I think this is just on, or I know this is just on the 4th season, the first part of that. So a 4? Okay, let's just read what he has to say. If your expectation for Attack on Titan is an anime you can watch on a screen and hear with speakers, then this season will do you well. But if your expectations are a well-directed, well-organized story brought to life with beautiful animation crafted by passionate, ingenious artists, then you will be sorely disappointed. Huh? Listen, 100% Attack on Titan has always been a very good looking show, and again, it's a little bit of a downgrade this year, but whatever. And I also think that he says here with speakers, I think he's talking about, you know, the voice acting and especially the orchestrals playing throughout the show. I think that the OST for Attack on Titan is one of the best, and that still holds up this season. So yeah, if you can watch it on a screen and hear with speakers, then it is really good. But then he says that this is the well-organized story and it's bad, poorly directed, like what? Okay, so I already know this is going to be an entire review dedicated to bashing Mappa. I really think that they were rushed and that there was a lower quality than average associated with it, but to say that this season is a 4. So another thing that he starts to bring up is the fact that Mappa did take some parts out of the manga, and I think a little bit, yeah, I haven't fully kept up with it. I've gone through it afterwards to see what was missing from it, and honestly, like I think some of the more major episodes are like episode 3, I think it was, where it was showing the backstory of Reiner, Annie, and Bertolt, and like there was some things cut out from there, which yeah, it sucked a little bit. But again, we're talking about a 4 out of 10. I think that people who have read it and watched it can both say that both are amazing and that they are both completely competent on their own. I don't see exactly how this adaptation of it, taking out some scenes from the manga and giving it a slightly different look than the rest of the previous seasons, makes it a 4 out of 10. Like, I really think that this is taken to the absolute extreme. Personally, I think I actually dislike the CGI more than some people. I really was not big of a fan of it. I genuinely just don't like CGI in shows, but it was just story-wise and even still artistic-wise at times, it was such a masterpiece. Like, I really don't even understand what the argument is. It's such a good show. How you could say this? I get you want to type 4 paragraphs on why you felt offended personally after seeing CGI in a show that you were probably completely getting illegal, but like, I just, this is why I hate this website. I want to find something funnier. Let's see if we can find something funnier. So this guy is another one who gave it a 4. I'm rating the anime as an adaptation and quite possibly the most overpraised I've seen. Okay, I don't really think it's overpraised for being an adaptation. I think that the story is very much liked, but the adaptation, I think, overpraised. The animal is abysmal. That's an extreme exaggeration, and you need to see things that are worse if you think that this is abysmal. I'm not judging based on sympathy. We're rating a finished product, in this case, unfinished. I don't know if I'd say unfinished, maybe rushed. In any case, there were barely any animation. That's English. Most of the animation, the whole 16 episodes, was in 2 and 7 and 8. Well, that's because a lot of this was dialogue heavy, and there was a section of extreme, action and animation to be had, but for the most part, a lot of the season was dialogue heavy and not action heavy, so it's kind of hard to add extreme animation to people talking. Most of the line work is bad, didn't even look corrected by the ATS. I don't know what that means. Does this guy know something I don't? I don't care. The choreography is bad even in important key episodes. No, it's not. And they didn't even use CGI to their best. Personally, I kind of agree with that. I think the CGI was kind of wonky at times. It looked fine sometimes, but I think like in some, especially like Aaron's Titan and I think Warhammer Titan, is that what it's called? Yeah, I think they both looked wonky at times. But like even still, I think I gave this season a 10 on this website. I could bump it down to a 9 because of that, but like, am I going to? No, it's still great. Man, some people really have too much goddamn time on their hands. Like, listen, I appreciate the review, man. I really do appreciate it, but this is more than I've written for essays at school, and I got to admit, no one's looking at this except me, I guess. So lucky me. Okay, this a 1. Whew. And it's this long, so it's going to be very well written. Okay, from the out of this world animation that we've got all of the past 3 series to the full CG fights between both Titans and humans, all Titans are 100% CGI, and yes, you can tell. You can tell for some, but there's things like the Jaw Titan which look really good, and there's still times where they're not CGI, but sure, 100% CGI, whatever. You can tell perfectly at a single moment, whether it's an all-out battle moment or just Aaron in Titan form moving his head, it's all done janky CG. So yeah, this guy thinks that the show is a 1 out of 10 purely because of the CG, and that there is nothing else to be gained from the show except the fact that it has CGI. Even the episodes that don't contain Titans and therefore would not contain CGI, well, they're bad, because in the other episodes there was CG Titans, which is a great argument. Alright, well, as you can see, not really that much going on with Attack on Titan. I kind of figured there would just be people talking about the animation because no one has anything better to do. But let's go into something maybe a little bit older. Let's see some hot takes from some older shows. Check out Steins Game. Now, what I'm looking for in Steins Game, I want to see how people feel about the first 12 episodes, because I think it's pretty unanimous that after that the show gets really good, but it is definitely a slow burning show. So I want to see people say how bad the show and how they dropped it on episode 2, because I guarantee there's going to be quite a few of them. We are just getting right into it. 1 out of 10. Man, I could only make it to 5 episodes. Wow, if I didn't call that. I came to this show with an open mind and somewhat high expectations for all the praises this anime received. I can say that I was thoroughly disappointed. To start with, the characters were insufferable, mainly the MC. You know what, that is an argument I've heard for some people. Personally, I really like him. I think some people just find him super obnoxious and cringy, and yeah, I think that's why I like him. I will never understand how anyone can relate to this character, the way he belittles, pushes the boundaries, and sexually harasses the female cast. Huh? I don't think he did that, but correct me if I'm wrong. It seems sexual harassment is the peak of comedy in this anime. His mad scientist act is unbelievable. Yeah, that's the point, and frankly too over the top. Yeah, that's the point. I cannot take his character seriously and lost all respect for him in a few episodes. Listen, man, I'm always going to stress this. Your opinion is your opinion. You can have it and you can wear it on you like a badge, but quite frankly, Zothique, I can't take your character seriously, and I've lost all respect for you in a few minutes, so let's try sleeping now, idiot. This one's a 4 out of 10, but quite frankly, I'm not reading that. Yeah, I'm just not reading that. Oh, a 2. This should be a Thank God it's short. I had a lot of expectation for this since it has such a high rating and is top 3 anime in my anime list. It usually for a pretty good reason, but you know, sometimes they are overrated. I was completely disappointed after watching the show. Many who have watched this said that they do not understand the show, but I find it easy to understand. Oh, we got a Rick and Morty viewer here. For me, the anime itself is not complex, but tries to be. Well, I mean, it's time travel. What are you saying? You're like a theoretical physicist? Like, it's time travel. It's difficult to understand because time travel doesn't exist. The concept is good. Time traveling. Butterfly effect, and it shows that every little thing in our life is important. Yeah, that's true. I think it's a good concept, but honestly, it can also be sometimes the downfall of the show because I won't get into it. Maybe I'll make a video on it. If one were to change something, no matter how small you think it is, it could still affect the future. Yeah, that's the butterfly effect. Uninteresting characters with typical dating sim personalities. Art is not that pleasant to the eyes. Boring sounds. What about the story? You said you liked the story, but the story was so unimportant that the anime and sounds made it go down to a 2. I can say that some of the personalities were kind of whatever. Not all of my favorite characters. A 2? I think you're being a little harsh there. Did I find this review helpful? Well, I sure hope someone didn't, because oh boy, man, there's a lot of 10s for this show. Listen, I really like this show. It's probably top 5 shows for me, but I still don't even think I would give it a 10. Like, I really think that the ending could have been better, and I think that it was, you know, the first half of it was, yeah, a slow burning show. As much as I still liked it, it wasn't, you know, a masterpiece in that regard. I say we do one more and wrap it up here, but what's a good idea for a show? We've gone to 2 shows that aren't really shonen, so I think we should end off on a typical shonen. We could do the newest My Hero Academia season, but I already just talked about that, so I think instead let's do some Hunter x Hunter. Now this is another one right near the top of this mistake of a site, and I think that that's always going to have an impact on how people review it. I think there's either going to be people giving it 10s or 1s. I can't stop predicting this. People are just too easy to predict. I'm not reading someone who wrote this much and gave it a 1 because I know that he's just gonna say every single thing was bad because it's a 1. So I'm not gonna waste my time with that, but just know that this poor man thought that this was a 1 out of 10 show. All right, this one's a 4 out of 10. Hunter x Hunter is a series that is as directionless as it is contrived. I'm pretty sure it has pretty easy direction. The thing that you have to understand with Hunter x Hunter is that is a show about a kid going on an adventure. And, you know, every single thing that happens is a new hurdle in the road. He has an end goal, right? The goal is to become the greatest hunter and meet his father and be just like him. He wants to understand what a hunter is and why his father left him, because it must be so amazing if he had left his son to become a hunter. Oh god, he is a messed up kid. Sure, you could sum up almost every single shonen series nowadays with a phrase like this, but what differs... Okay, first of all, no. What? Why? Anyways, but what differs Hunter x Hunter from you everyday shonen is that it doesn't feel as lazy and uncreative as it gets. In fact, it has some nice ideas here and there, such as the power system. Yeah, absolutely, the Nen as a power system is probably one of the best. You can't just stick all the ideas together without planning anything and think your audience will think your work is something well thought. Again, every arc has its purpose and an end goal. And you're saying that the show is bad only because it's presenting a completely new scenario every arc. Like, the whole point is to make it an adventure. Adventures don't have to be this linear straight line to the goal, collecting things and it being monotonous. You have Gon becoming a hunter, then you have him learning Nen, then you have it focusing on some of the other side characters as they find the Phantom Troop and learn what their deal is and what they want of the series. Then you have it go back to the main characters and focus on a new game that they're playing and going on an adventure to get trained in Nen. And then you have another adventure where you're seeing this very philosophical story between monster and man. And then you have another story where you get my point. It's very diverse in what it does, and I think that's what makes it so good, is there's a lot of different storytelling methods in that show, but they all have a purpose and contribute to an end goal. It's not directionless, it's just different. All right, I think this is gonna be the last one because I'm actually gonna blow a gasket if I see any more of these hot takes. I hold the unpopular opinion that Hunter x Hunter is awful. Most of the reasons people praise it, I believe, have a weak basis due to generalizing events and cherry picking. Yeah, there is some cherry picking in the show. Gon, people like to paint him as a conflicted character. but he has mostly bland characteristics with some inconsistency thrown in. I think Gon is not one of the main reasons that people get invested in the show. I think a lot of it has to do with the world building, the power system, and the side characters, especially the villains. The villains are really good in that show. Gon is a little bit bland, I do agree. I think when he's referring to these inconsistencies, it's the fact that he tends to follow that standard shonen protagonist kind of personality, but then we'll randomly have this complete breakthrough and go nuts or something, and it'll be kind of different from how he was. And I think that makes sense for his character still, because I think he's a very naive character and he's learning as he goes on, and these are the first times he's reacting to things and it's genuine reactions. I don't think it's inconsistent. I just think that it is sometimes maybe a little bit out of nowhere. The York New York illustrates my point. I think the York New York is the best part of the show, so I'd love to hear what he's going to say about this. Most of the internal monologue and dialogue is ham-fisted, like when Kurapika first explained Nen contracts. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you guys have seen this one panel from the manga, but there's a page where someone is just talking and the entire page is just text. I'll see if I can find an image and put it on screen here. But yeah, there is a lot of dialogue just ham-fisted into there sometimes, but I think it adds so much detail that you can get so invested in this power system. I think that's one of the things that makes it so cool. I feel like some people just like having these extreme opinions and hot takes on things purely to get attention or to seem different and unique. I don't know. I think that the show is great, and I think that anyone who thinks it's a 1 out of 10 is absurd. Anyways, I think that's gonna about wrap it up. I don't want to read any more of these, and this site is gonna probably end up coming into cookies on other sites for me, and I just don't need that. Leave a like if you want to. I don't actually care. Please give me a subscription. It gives me money. I like money. I think everyone likes money, and I would like to have more of it, so please watch and subscribe. So goodbye. Thank you.